My dear students, today we will discuss the topic a critical study of Hume's view of causation. Hume's view of causation has been divided into two portions. The first one we discussed in the previous class. The first topic was common people's view of causation and David Hume. And for today, we will discuss Hume's main idea on the theory of causation. This is the second part, and this is the last part we have to discuss. Before we proceed today's class, I would like to remind you something about the topic we discussed in the previous class in connection with common people's view of causation and David Hume. In the previous class, we know that common people regard cause as a power or force or energy which actively produces the effect, and that the causal relation is necessary relation. But Hume denied this conception. Hume criticizes the popular notion of cause. There is an inseparable relation between cause and effect. Hume denied this notion because Hume argued that we never apprehend any force or power or energy in our sense experience. Therefore, we cannot create an idea, power or force or energy which can produce the effect. And in the second point, what we discussed in the last class, there is no necessary connection between the cause and effect. And according to the study, according to the discussion, what we find was that experience gives us only succession of two separate discrete events. Cause and effect are the two separate events. Causality is not efficiency. It means that cause does not necessarily produce effect. Now, these are the points we discussed in the previous class. Today, let us see the topic Hume's main idea on the theory of causation. Now, today we will discuss the main idea of Hume's concept in connection with the causation, in connection with the theory of causation. According to Hume, the idea of causality may be derived from two types of relations. One is contiguity and the second one is succession. And what is contiguity then? Contiguity means sequential occurrences. Contiguity means sequential occurrences. Then second one, succession. The succession means things of similar kind following one after another. That is succession. When we perceive the causes, we also perceive their effects. Say that is, cause and effects are contagious. We do never experience any necessary connection between the events. We perceive the causes, but along with this perception, we can perceive the effect. But this is a contiguous. There is no any relation, what we call necessary relation in between cause and effect. Hume contends that if there were if there were any, there were really any connection, if there were any necessary connection between cause and effect, then the idea of effect could be obtained by mere analysis of the idea of the cause. By mere analysis, the idea of the effect could be obtained, but it is not. Then, on numerous occasions, we perceive fire being followed by burning in the past. And now we perceive fire being followed by burning at present. The contiguity is there. The habitual conjunction of two events, fire and a burning, produces a subjective bond of association between the ideas in the mind. So a perception of the effect or a perception of the cause. Perception of the cause, then we expect another effect. This is a subjective bond of association. Subjective bond of association which is created in our mind. There is no necessary connection between the two events. These are the creations in the mind. There is no causal nexus between them because it is never perceived. It is never perceived. What we mean is that we experienced, through our experience we collect our knowledge, we get our knowledge. But here the point is that we cannot establish anything, any necessary relation between the cause and the effect. The production of the effect because of the cause. We cannot establish any relation between these two. So there is no any necessary relation between cause and effect. This is the argument of David Hume. There is no causal nexus between them because it is never perceived. What is perceived is real, and what is not perceived is unreal. According to the empiricist, and in our common sense, we all know that we cannot say that any object is real if we do not perceive. Or only when we perceive the object, or only when we perceive the thing, we can prove its existence, its reality. So we cannot establish any relation between the cause and effect. Therefore, there is no any objective necessity between the two events. There is no any objective necessity between the two events. What it means is that between the cause and effect, there is only a subjective necessity between their ideas. The establishment is only the subjective ideas which is created in our mind. The idea of fire leads the mind to the idea of burning. Causality is not efficiency. The cause does not produce the effect because production is never perceived. The production is never perceived. The cause and its effect are mere events, are mere changes. and occurrences or a phenomena. Only uniform sequenced between them has been perceived in the past. Uniform sequenced. We experience a uniform sequence between cause and effect. And therefore, there is an expectation that the same sequence will occur in future. This is only expectation. We cannot give the guarantee that the same consequence or the same sequence will take place in the future. There is no absolute certainty about it. So causation is uniform or invariable sequence between two phenomena so far as it has been experienced in the past. There is no guarantee about absolute certainty in all times. We cannot give the guarantee because there is no causal nexus between the fire and the burning. It is a contingent truth. The relation between the cause and effect, the conception of the cause and effect is a contingent truth derived from experience. It is not a universal truth, or it is not a necessary truth. A cause is an invariable antecedent and an effect is an invariable consequence. It is subjective, not objective. This is the argument given by David Hume in connection with the theory, a critical study of Hume's view of causation. Now let us see the summary of today's discussion in connection with Hume's main idea of causality. According to Hume, the idea of causality may be derived from two types of relations, contiguity and succession. We do never experience any necessary connection between the events. Hume contends that if there were really any necessary connection between the cause and effect, the idea of effect could be obtained by mere analysis of the idea of cause. Secondly, now some of the points we can grasp. The cause and effect is the habitual conjunction of two events. It is a subjective bond of association between the ideas of cause and effect. What is perceived is real and what is not perceived is unreal. Hence, there is no objective necessity between the two events. Thirdly, causality is not efficiency. The cause does not produce the effect because production is never perceived. And the third paragraph, now we have seen the cause and its effect are mere events, changes, occurrences, phenomena. Secondly, only uniform sequence between them has been perceived in the past, so there is an expectation that the same sequence will occur in future, and there is no absolute certainty about it. So causation is uniform or invariable sequenced between two phenomena as far as they has been experienced in the past. Now lastly, in the last paragraph, what we have seen is that it is a contingent truth derived from experience. It means the relationship between the cause and effect is a contingent truth derived from experience, and a cause is an invariable antecedent and an effect is an invariable consequent. It is subjective
not objective. Now these are the points we discussed today in connection with Hume's main idea of causality. Let us finish here for today.